Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. We got a few things to go over, but first things first. Anybody that was affected by this big winter storm this weekend, hope you're doing fine. If you got the ice storm, Lord have mercy, I hope you have power. Hope it warms up enough to melt some of the ice. That way you can get power, get your life back together. Northeast Tennessee got left out, as usual. We went from 16 to 20 inches of snow on Monday and Tuesday. To Wednesday rolling around, they're like, hold on, maybe about 6 to 12. We got a little movement. And then Thursday, here comes that warm nose. To Friday, you're getting about an inch. Then you're going to switch over to freezing rain and sleet. And then Sunday, it's going to be all rain. Now, if you're a snow lover, that sucks. Like me, I love the snow. I was hoping we get a big one. But if you're not going to get snow, you'd much rather get rain than the freezing rain. You see the pictures, you see the videos of Nashville, Mississippi, Arkansas, all these places that got the freezing rain. My heart goes out to you if you're in one of them areas. That's absolutely terrible. I hate to see it. I wish we would have got the 12, 18 inches of snow, but glad God didn't put the freezing rain on us. So if you got the freezing rain, you're still without power. Prayers out to you. Second of all, if you watched the last video, my baby's been sick. That's why I haven't been posting many videos. She had RSV, rhinovirus, same time. Fevers of like 104 degrees. It's been a rough weekend, y'all. Luckily, we didn't get the winter storm on top of it in case we needed to get out. But anybody who watched the last video, said a prayer for the little baby. Thank you so much. She is getting better. She's not 100%, but I'd say she's about 85, 90. She's way better, so I appreciate all y'all for that. We got a few topics to talk about, y'all. We got Coach Prime finding his players for showing their ass, for rules violations, for doing this. We're going to pull the chart up. We're going to talk about the money. We're going to talk about, do we agree with this? Do we like it? Do we not like it? Y'all give me y'all's thoughts in the comments section. Then we got the NCAA looking into Ole Miss for tampering with Clemson's linebacker. If you don't know the story, I'll give you a little rundown before we talk about that. And last but not least is Tennessee's new strength and conditioning coach, the final piece for the Vols to get over the hump from fringe playoff team every year to national title contender. We're going to talk about that. Y'all do that YouTube stuff for me before we get going. You know what it is. Smash that thumbs up. Hit that bell. Subscribe to the channel. Help a brother out. If you're a college football fan, subscribe to the channel. If you're a college sports fan, subscribe to the channel. If you hate Alabama, subscribe to the channel. If you're a Vol fan, subscribe to the channel. Get in the comments section. Give me your thoughts on these topics. That's enough rambling on, y'all. Let's get into it. First things first, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, finding his players for misconduct. Let's look at the chart here, y'all. We got Colorado's list of fines for violation of team policy. Late to practice, 500. No-show practice, 2,500. Late to meeting or film, 400. No-show meeting or film, 2,000. No-show conditioning, 1,500. No-show to treatment, 1,500. Violation of team rules, 1,000 to 2,500. Public or social misconduct, which is social media or out in public at the schools, $2,000 to $5,000. How do y'all feel about this chart? I love it. I love it. These players are making money. They think they've got all the power. They think they can do whatever and have no consequences. Well, if we're going to pay you $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, then you should have to pay up if you violate the rules, just like the NFL. I think more colleges should do this. I'd love to see Josh Heupel in Tennessee jump on that. I'm not a big fan of Dion. No, he's rubbed me the wrong way quite a bit, but that right there, I absolutely love the fines for the misconduct, for the not showing up to practice, meetings, all that stuff. I love it. It's really wild. He comes up with this system after he takes Boo Carter from Tennessee, who skipped workouts over the summer last year, didn't late to meetings, just completely didn't show up, just left and went out to Colorado and California and stuff. He gets a player like that and then he implements this. So Boo Carter better get his head out of his ass, or he's going to be losing a lot of money playing for Deion Sanders. I love it, y'all. The one thing I would say is maybe it should be a certain percentage of your NIL, because some of these players ain't making a lot. Say they show up a couple minutes late. They might not have the money that one of the star players have, but the premise of it, I love it. Fine their asses for showing up late. If they want to make all this money, they want to leave your school, go play for the next school, because they offer more money, then they should get treated like pros, because they're basically pros now. You want to make pro money, you get treated like one. You don't follow rules, you get fined. You do things the coach don't want you to do on social media, get fined. You miss a treatment, get fined. I absolutely love it. Like I said, Coach Prime, if you watch my channel for a while, you know I'm not a big fan of Coach Prime, but I absolutely love this. And another thing, it gets them prepared for the next level. Because when you go to the pros, you do that stuff, you're getting fined. So you might as well go ahead and start getting fined, help you get ready, get prepared, show you there's consequences for your actions before you get to the next level. It's time the coaches and the schools get a little power back from these players. You're making this money, we can take some of it back if you don't do what we want you to do. I love it. How do y'all feel about Coach Prime's finding the players like that? If you're against it, you've got to hate Coach Prime. I mean, I dislike him. Not a big fan of him, but I love the system. I hope Coach Heupel takes it up. I hope all these schools across the country adopt that. It's time to get some control back from the players. Players think they run it all. They do. The inmates are running the asylum right now. We got to get some control. We got to get some structure back in college sports, y'all. And that's a good start. That's something coaches can do that nobody can tell them not to do. I love it. What's y'all's feelings on that topic? I commend you, Coach Prime. Usually I'm against you, not a big fan of you, but I love that. Absolutely love it. Now, if you remember last time we talked, Dabo Swinney held a press conference. Straight up said, hey, Pete Golding, Ole Miss, tampered with my linebacker. I got the receipts. Here they are. And it was this player, they offered this player like $1 million. He's like, no, I like being at Clemson. He's like, yeah, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to tell Coach Swinney he'll turn you in. Well, the GM from Ole Miss come back and said, hey, I get it. Pete Golding ain't taking no for an answer. He told me to offer you this. The player said, no, I'm staying with Clemson. Turned him in to Dabo. And then dude's like, hey, Golden wants what he wants. What about $2 million? And after he turned him in to Dabo, he still enters the portal, goes to Ole Miss because they offered him so much money he couldn't turn it down. So the NCAA has confirmed that they're looking into this tampering case. I'm not sitting here trying to act like Pete Golding is the only coach that was tampering. We know which coach was tampering the most. That was Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was tampering with Ole Miss's players. In turn, made him tamper with Clemson's player because Kiffin stole his linebacker last minute and he had to find one. So is the NCAA going to grow some nuts and start enforcing their tampering rules if these coaches have receipts and evidence that somebody tampered with their players and they show it to the NCAA, is the NCAA going to sit on their hands and do not shit about it, or maybe just a slap on the wrist? Are they going to step up, show they still have some balls, and dish out some punishments that'll keep people from tampering with other teams' players? I hope they show they have a set of nuts between their legs and they start dishing out punishments for the tampering. It's just like the Miami case. Miami with Darian Mensah. Him and Duke come to an agreement today for a buyout of his contract because Miami calls last day of the portal, offers him $10 million. Part of it's his buyout, but they come and offer him all this money last day of the portal, leaving Duke high and dry without a damn quarterback. Last day of the portal. Miami's going to get a quarterback. Duke's screwed, even though the kid had a contract that he breached, and Miami tampered. And what's going to get done about it besides Duke not having a quarterback? And Manny Diaz's seat probably hot by the end of next season because his quarterback got taken on the last day of the portal, and there's not a spring portal anymore. So what the hell is he going to do to find a quarterback? Nothing. He's just up the creek without a paddle. Tennessee felt it last year. I don't know that any team tampered with Nico, but he had a deal in place. We gave him a raise at the end of the season. Then spring rolls around. He tries to strong arm us for more money. He enters the portal, leaves us high and dry. Aguilar comes in and saves the day. But we've got to start holding these kids to their contracts. We got to start enforcing tampering. If tampering's against the rules, and you got some people following the rules, that clearly other schools have even said Tennessee's following the rules. Alabama's following the rules. You know LSU's not following the rules. You know Miami's not following the rules. You know Ole Miss ain't following the rules. You know Texas Tech, all these teams, you know a lot of these teams that are not following the rules, coaches are telling you out loud, and nothing happens about it. But the teams that are trying to do right, follow the rules. What happens to them? Nothing. They get no reward. They get punished because their players get took, or a guy they're trying to get out of the portal gets taken because they're following the rules, trying to stick to the new NIL rules, the house settlement, the revenue sharing, the CSC that's supposed to check into NIL deals, and if they're not legitimate, they're supposed to cancel them. You got teams like Tennessee that's on probation for something Jeremy Pruitt did years ago. But Jeremy Pruitt's already back coaching college football because his probation is over because they said, oh, well, what he done is legal now, so we're going to cancel his show calls. The judge did. So Pruitt's back coaching college football. But Tennessee's still getting the shaft from his doings. Our current players, our current coaches, our current university athletic director, president, all them are suffering because of what he did. But yeah, he's already coaching college ball again with his show calls completely gone because the judge said so. You got Tennessee here trying to walk on thin ice and follow the rules and compete for titles. But yet they're still on probation getting punished for the shit while Pruitt's off coaching with no punishment anymore. Make it make sense. How is the guy that done it coaching, his show calls is gone, but the team that cooperated with you turned themselves in? You even said we was an exemplary of how you should cooperate with you, but yet we're still on probation while he's coaching. How does that make any damn sense, y'all? The NCAA is so damn crooked, they pick and choose what they want to deal with and what they don't want to deal with. Just like they try to come at us with Nico's NIL crap. Even though what we did at the time was legal, then they changed the rules It wasn't legal, but when we did it, it was. But they still tried to come at us, and Danny White and Donde Plowman told them to shove it up their ass. But yet, you got guy from Miami just got an 8th year of eligibility. You got our quarterback trying to do the same thing Pavia did, same case, everything, but they're trying to say he probably won't get approved, but Pavia did. And Miami had a 9-year tight end last 2 years ago. Now they got an 8th-year player, but Aguilar can't get a 6th or 7th year. You can go declare for the draft from basketball, play in the NBA and the G League for 3 years, come back and play on Saturday against Tennessee because a judge gives you a temporary restraining order, even though the NCAA said, hell no. The judge said, yeah, and the judge is a 6-figure donor to the university. What are we doing, y'all? This stuff is wild. College sports are absolutely crazy right now. What are they going to do to fix it, y'all? Like I said, you literally got a player that played for Alabama in basketball last Saturday, 3 days ago. And Tennessee won, by the way. Still beat them with an NBA G League player on their roster. But you got guys like Aguilar and other guys that are getting told no to an extra year. Trinidad Chambliss is one. They're probably going to get told no to an extra year, but you can give a Miami guy an 8th year. You gave Miami's tight end 9 years 2 years ago. You give Pavia an extra year. You got G League guys coming back. You got guys that were drafted playing for Baylor 2 years ago. Then you got a guy from 3 years ago playing at Bama. What in the hell is going on, y'all? What are y'all's thoughts on it? Do y'all think the NCAA should go their nuts back and tell these judges to piss off? This is our sports. We run it. We'll do whatever the hell we want to do. If you got a problem with it, kick rocks. Just like Alabama. They're playing Charles Bediako, even though the NCAA said no. A judge gave him a restraining order. What's stopping the NCAA from saying, okay, you go ahead and play him? But every game he plays will be forfeited and not count towards your tournament resume. It'll count as a loss. You think they'd play him? Hell no. Because they got 6 losses right now. It's not like they're firmly in. I mean, they're in. But if they have a bad stretch down, they could easily fall to a bubble team. Do you think they'd play him and risk missing the tournament? No. The NCAA's got to step up. Used to, back in the day, they had the biggest balls in the world. They didn't give a damn. They was too strict. Now they're the parent that just had their 4th or 5th kid and just ain't got enough in them to carry. Tennessee's new strength and conditioning coach, y'all. Do you think he's the missing piece from us being a playoff team, like a fringe playoff team, always right there on the line, get in 1 year, not the next year, to being a national title contender? I mean, look what he done with Indiana, y'all. He's been with Signetti at JMU and Indiana, and he's won 10 games a year, every single year, with him as the strength coach. And if you remember back when Nick Saban in Alabama was completely dominant, y'all, Scott Cochran was their strength and conditioning coach. They lost Scott Cochran to Georgia. Georgia hired him as a linebacker coach. And after that, Bama never looked the same, y'all. And Georgia started winning national titles. I think we all look at the coaches and think and overlook how important a strength and conditioning coach really is. We go back and look at Nick Saban. Google it. Nick Saban with Scott Cochran. I might be botching his name. I'm pretty sure that's the name. Scott Cochran with Nick Saban. He was there for the big run. Then Georgia hired him away. Bama didn't fall off, but they started losing. Wasn't quite as dominant. They'd lose 2 games a year, 1 game. They just didn't look the same, even while Saban was still there. He goes to Georgia, and Georgia becomes the big dog in the SEC. I think it's very overlooked how important a strength and conditioning coach is. But we got a report from Austin Price and VolQuest on how his first day or two went. It says carnage. He's hitting it hard, Price said of Owings. First week on the job, the staff is hitting it hard. I think there's a little bit more accountability than there was in that room a year ago. And just talking to people, it's a different vibe. It's a different feel in the strength program right now, and the players are feeling it. I think they're going to love it long term, but I think they're feeling it right now. And so it's an adjustment for them. But the first day, I think it was kind of like, whoa, I'm not in Kansas anymore. It's a totally different deal with him leading things. I think he's trying to change the mindset and make this team a little more mentally tough. That way, when it's 3rd and 6 in the bowl game, you don't jump off sides, make it 3rd and 1, and give Illinois an easy first down. Little things like that, just trying to change the mentality of that group. I know you always get positive reports in the offseason, y'all. But I love to hear that these players are already like, oh, shit. We're in for it this offseason. There ain't no more taking it easy. It's balls to the wall. You're going to be sore every day. We're going to be tougher than the team we line up against. They'll be tired in the 4th quarter. We won't. If you watched Indiana this year, 90% of the time, they was the tougher team on the football field, even against teams like Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State. I still think Miami was just as tough as them, maybe even a little tougher. But Indiana got the breaks. They blocked the punt. Miami missed the field goal. Special teams made a difference. You know how you make a difference in special teams? Just grit, determination, and strength. Where does that start? In the weight room in the winter. I absolutely love this hire, y'all. I think we're going to see a big difference on the defense side of the ball next year. I even said this year we didn't even run the ball as much as we did, and then maybe that's because our offensive linemen wasn't as strong as they was. You could see a difference from prior years to this year on the physicality of this football team. Was it the strength and conditioning coach just kind of checked out, or his system took them as far as it could? I don't know. But I love the Holdings hire, y'all. I really think it's going to pay off. I think we're going to resemble Indiana next year as far as we're just going to be tough, and we're going to play mistake-free ball. We're going to be tough. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us fair and square. We're not going to hand you a game no more. And I think after you leave Neyland Stadium or we leave your stadium, you're going to say, damn, we had to fight for that game. We can't keep underemphasizing how important strength and conditioning program is, y'all. Even on the injury side, a lot of these strength and conditioning groups and coaches, they know what to do to help you avoid injury. A lot of the injury stuff last year could have been the soft strength and conditioning that went on. I don't know that. But you got to look at it. Some teams, once they make a change in the strength and conditioning area, the injuries drop dramatically. Look at us under Butch Jones. We always had player after player after player hurt. And under Heupel, we've stayed pretty healthy. I mean, it's football. You're going to lose some guys. But this year, man, the guys we lost, we didn't lose a lot of guys, but, man, the guys we lost were important players, y'all. So how are y'all feeling about the new strength coach? Are y'all as excited about it as I am? Do you think it's as important as I do? Or do you think I'm overstating how important it is? I just remember Scott Cochran at Alabama, y'all. How dominant they was when he was there. And then Kirby came and offered him this big amount of money. I think he was still the strength and conditioning coach, but he took on linebacker duty too. That's how important it was to Kirby to pull this guy away from Alabama because of how important that position as a coach is, y'all. That wraps it up for today, y'all. Y'all give me your thoughts on the topics, especially the fines and the tampering and the strength and conditioning coach. I love to interact with y'all. I love to go back and forth, even if you don't agree with my thoughts on it. I like to see where people's coming from, see what their frame of mind is. So y'all make sure y'all get in the comment section, like the video. Make sure you hit that bell, subscribe to the channel so you can help the channel grow, help me make more videos, help us go back and forth more. And if anybody out there watches this and you have a YouTube channel or you want to collab and us do a show together, let me know. Get in the comment section. Find me on Facebook. Whatever it is. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Hope you didn't get snowed in or iced in. If you did, I'm praying for you. Hope you get your power back. I know it was a rough storm. It wasn't quite the snowstorm they thought, but man, the ice. I pray for everybody affected by it. Thanks for everybody that prayed for the baby. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you had a great Monday. Hope you have a great rest of the week. I'll see y'all tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Thank y'all. God bless. And as always, go Vols.